Welcome back to the channel. Warm greetings to everyone. Now I would like to say regarding the concept of LL1 parser. So let's starting the concept. Let us see what is the abbreviation of LL1. So here the first L stands for it is an leftmost derivative, and the second L stands for it starts from left to right. So, and the numerical 1 stands for takes only one input at a time. It takes only one input at a time. So, this is what abbreviation of LL1. So, now let us see what the LL1 parser do. So, in a LL1 parser, here the comes under the concept of top-down approach. In a top-down approach, you can see the concept of LL1 parser. So, in this concept, the operation happens from left hand side to the right hand side. This is what the second important point. And the third point is in a LL1 parser, there is no concept of backtracking. Here, the backtracking will not happen. So I hope everyone knows the meaning of backtracking. So if not, you can watch my previous video regarding the disadvantages of backtracking concept. So now let us see what is the architecture of LL1, how the architecture of LL1 is defined, and let us see LL1 example. So this is what an architecture of LL1 parser. In the architecture of LL1 parser, I have taken an input called A plus B. So isn't it? Whatever the input I have taken, after completing the input what I want to give to the compiler, I should keep the symbol called $. Why? Because this dollar symbol represents that whatever the input I am giving to the compiler, that input was completed, isn't it? After dollar, if you write anything, it will not be considered. This is what the point we have to remember. So this is a keynote point. So if you didn't mention the symbol called $, while giving the input or anything else, the compiler thinks that there may be any number of variables. So the compiler keeps on reading the input from the user. So by reading the input from the user, it might goes to the infinite loop. So this is what the problem if we not represent with a $. Symbol. So isn't it, after giving the complete input, first the input moves to the buffer. Next, first the input comes to the buffer. Whatever the input we have given, it comes to the buffer. After coming to the buffer, whatever the input we have given, it moves to the LL1 parser. So this is a pointer we are representing. This pointer indicates that whatever the variable it is pointing, that variable is moving to LL1 parser, and from LL1 parser that variable is moving to the stack. So this is how the variable is moving to the stack. So after first the stack is pointing to $. Symbol. So here it represents the $. Is moving to stack. After $. moved to the stack, the pointer changes its position from $, to small b. Then small b moves to LL1 parser and it moves to stack. In the same manner, till the end of our grammar, the pointer keeps on changing its position. So after the data comes to the stack, here parsing table will be generated. So for generating the parsing table, so whatever the input we have, that input will be taken as a values and that table will be constructed. This is what the general architecture of LL1 parser. So in this video, I am going to show how to find first and follow of a given input grammar. So let us see with an example. let me note an example. So here, while moving to the example, I will like to say two more points. For example, A1, A2, A3. So A is a variable which is giving rise to A1, A2, A3, so on, n number of variables. So in a LL1, how can you represent for a same variable multiple variables? Means A1 union A2 union A3 union A4, so on, union AN. In this manner, you can represent for a multiple variables. This is what the first point you have to remember. And the second rule is, while moving to the example, we have to know what are terminals and what are non-terminals. What are the things which are representing in a small letter in our grammar, isn't it? What are the things which are represented in a small letter in a grammar? Not only small letter, small a to z, open brace, closed brace, plus, multiplication symbol, division symbol, everything, whatever the thing it is represented, all the things will come under the terminals only, isn't it? Apart from these symbols, apart from small letters and the symbols, remaining things all comes under the non-terminals. So in a simpler way, I can say as capital A to capital Z are non-terminals, isn't it? This is the keynote point you have to remember. Apart from, if you remember this one or not, it is up to us. So, but to do the first and follow of a given grammar, you have to remember the second and third points. So let us move to the example. So I will write a grammar here. E tends to T, capital T. So while writing the grammar, what they have given, please take care whether they have given capital letter or small letter. This is what the thing we have to take care. So this is what a long grammar given by them. Let us find first of a given grammar. So let us find first of this grammar. So while finding the first of a given grammar, first how we have to represent is first of, what is it, for what variable we are finding first value? Capital E. That is why I have to write as a first of capital E is equal to whatever the values you are representing, you have to mention in a flower braces. What is the first of, how to find the first of a E means E, what is the value? First of E tends to capital T, capital R, isn't it? What is the first variable we have here? Capital T. So this capital T is a non-terminal symbol. So now what I will move is, from here I will move to the capital T position, capital T. So what is the capital T is giving? Capital F. Again capital F is also a non-terminal symbol. So again I will move to the capital F grammar. So what is the capital F is giving? Open curly brace. So open curly brace is a terminal symbol for us. So that is why I will write open curly brace. And what is the alternate symbol it is giving? Capital F, ID. So this is the first value of a given grammar, capital E. So let us write first of all the remaining grammars what they have given. So next, first of R. What is the first of R? Plus and hash. So here in the place of R we have a plus symbol. Plus symbol is a terminal for us. And what is the alternate grammar? It is R is giving hash symbol. So hash symbol is also terminal for us. Not an issue. We can write. So next is what is the first of B? Small a comma small b comma epsilon. So come to the B grammar. What is the value here? Small a. It is a terminal symbol. And small b terminal symbol, epsilon terminal. So I have written directly, not a problem. So next come to first of capital T. So again if you come to this grammar, what is the value? Capital T is giving capital F. So we should not write capital F. Why? Because it is a non-terminal. So come to capital F grammar. What the capital F is giving? Open brace comma ID. So now write first of capital A. So what's the capital A is giving? Small a. So next first of capital Y. So you have to write like this for all the variables. First of star comma hash. If you observe first of capital A, what is giving? Star, and another grammar is hash. That is why I have written there. First of W. Open brace comma ID. Next first of capital F. Open brace comma ID. So next first of W. Only one alphabet, that is A. Next first of G. Only F. It is giving only one grammar. So that is why I am writing only one. First of S. It is giving small a. Sorry. Capital A. Again. So here if you observe first of S, what it is giving? Capital A. So now you come to the capital A grammar in our complete grammar. What the capital A have? Small a. So small a. And come to this first grammar is completed. Now come to the second part. What is the grammar is giving? Capital B. Now come to the capital B grammar. What the capital B have? Small b. And here in this grammars also we have another grammar, that is epsilon. So this is the grammar generated by S. So another first of A. Epsilon. So it is generating, it is not generating any value, so epsilon. First of B. For example, if any of the first value is not generating any value, means in that situation you should not write it as an empty value. If it is not generating any grammar value, you should mention with a symbol called epsilon. That epsilon symbol in itself indicates there is no variable in that particular value position. So if you observe in this grammar, capital A tends to epsilon. Here the capital A tends to epsilon represents that there is no grammar in this given capital A value. So this is how we will find first of a given grammar. So let us see another example. So I will say very small example. Capital S tends to small a, capital B, small b. And capital A tends to C or epsilon. Capital B tends to D or epsilon. So while writing a first of a grammar, actually what we have to do is, if they give a small grammar, this is what an actual position. First you have to create a table and you have to write a values first. Sorry, okay, I will say now first, later we can see remaining. Now we have to write first like that. So this is a grammar what they have given. So come to the what is the first one? S. First of S. What is the first of S? Small a. Next, first of A. What is the first of A? C comma epsilon. Next, first of B. What is the first of B? D comma epsilon. I hope everyone understood how we got C comma epsilon means first grammar is C. It is a terminal, so we can write no problem. What is the alternate for A grammar? It is generating epsilon. That is why I got C or epsilon. So the LL1 parser is incomplete without finding only first value. This LL1 parser consists of a first and follow of a grammar also. So now let us see how to find the follow of the grammar. Let us take the same example. So while finding the follow of a grammar, I would like to say few of the rules, isn't it? Let us see rule number 1. So in the rule number 1, what I can say is wherever you find a symbol called epsilon in a follow, the epsilon symbol is replaced with a dollar symbol. Epsilon symbol is replaced with dollar symbol, and whatever the start symbol of the grammar, whatever the start symbol of a grammar, how much in the previous example I have written 10, 12 grammar statements, how many lines of grammar statements you may have. Whatever the start point in our grammar, that start point in the grammar is started with a symbol called dollar. We may have 2 variables or 3 variables in the start symbol, but starting variable should be dollar. So, and another thing is, if we find epsilon symbol in first of any grammar, if you find epsilon symbol in first of any grammar, then move to follow of that grammar. I hope you will understand this third point while saying the example, isn't it? So let us see how to find a follow of a grammar. So follow. So what is the follow of S? What is the follow of S? What we should do is here, whatever the first value, it is S is a start node for us, isn't it? S is the first value for us. That is why I will represent with a dollar symbol, isn't it? Next, follow of capital A. So now to find the follow of capital A, first what we should remember is where the capital A is repeated in a complete grammar from line number 1. So in line number 1, first you can see, so here I have capital A. So what is the follow variable for capital A? What is the follow variable for capital A? Capital B. So capital B is again a non-terminal symbol for us. So what I will do is, I will come to the capital B grammar. So what the capital B is giving? Small d. So small d is a terminal for us. So I can write it. So this capital B is also giving for me epsilon symbol also. But this epsilon symbol I should not represent in a follow. So what I will do is, this epsilon symbol will be moved to capital B. This epsilon symbol is replaced to capital B. So and again the follow operation goes up. So what is the next value for after capital B? Small b. So this small b is a terminal value for us. So I can write it as a small b. This is the follow of capital A. Now let us see follow of capital B. So what is the follow of capital B? First what you have to do is identify where capital B is there in our grammar. So here I have capital B. What is the next value of capital B? What is the follow of capital B? Small b. So simply mention small b. This is how you will write a follow of a given grammar. So let me explain one more example how we can find follow of a given grammar. So I will write grammar. S is a grammar tends to A, B, C, D, E. A is a grammar gives rise to A by epsilon. B is a grammar gives rise to B by epsilon. C is a grammar gives rise to C. D is a grammar gives rise to D by epsilon. E is the grammar gives rise to E by epsilon. So this is the grammar given by them. So now let us write both the values. Means both the values means first and follow of a given grammar. So first we will write first, next we will write follow. Isn't it? Come, let us start with the S. So what is the first of S? Capital A. Isn't it? Capital A. What is the, come to capital A grammar? So what is the first variable I have? Small a. Small a comma epsilon. So this epsilon will be moved to the capital A position. And what is the next value? Capital B. So come to the capital B grammar. What this capital B I have? Small b. So again I have epsilon. So this epsilon value is moved to the capital B. So now what is the next value I have? Capital C. So now come to the capital C grammar. What is the variable I have? C. So this is what the grammar. The C will not give the input to this S grammar. Why? Because for C I have, there is no epsilon symbol. There is no epsilon symbol. So it is the process will stop here. So let us write the first of capital A. What is the first value? A comma epsilon. First of capital B, B comma epsilon. First of capital C, C comma epsilon. First of capital D, this is not small d, capital D, D comma epsilon. First of capital E, E comma epsilon. This is how you will write first of a grammar. Now let us see how to write a follow of a given grammar. So let us start. So what is the first statement I have? Yes. So whatever the first statement you have, simply write dollar. So next capital A. What is the A value is giving? Capital A. First you identify where the capital A is. So here I have capital A. What is the follow of capital A? Capital B. Now come to the capital B grammar. What variable I have? Small b. So I will write small b. So this capital B is giving for me small b and epsilon also. Here I will not write epsilon symbol. Why? Because the follow will not support the symbol called epsilon. So what I will do is I will keep this epsilon symbol in the position of B and I will move to the next position. What is the variable I have? Capital C. Now I will come to the capital C grammar, and what is the variable I have in capital C? Small c. This small c is a terminal for us, so I have written small c. This small c will not give any value to S grammar. Why? Because here I didn't have any epsilon symbol. So now write the grammar for capital B. So what is the capital B I have? Where capital B is represented, here I have capital B. What is the follow of capital B? Capital C. What is the variable I have? Only small c. So now capital D. So capital D. What is the capital D is represented? Here the capital D is. So what the capital D is giving? So come to the capital D grammar. So here the capital D is represented. What is the follow of capital D? Capital E. So what is the capital E is giving? E. So and we have epsilon value also here. So this epsilon value is moved to E. So but for E I didn't have any follow value, isn't it? The grammar is completed there. I didn't have any follow value. So now what I will do is this epsilon symbol will goes to the start node. Yes. So what S will give is it will give dollar symbol. Means what the meaning is, here the input was completed, so you can keep dollar symbol. While explaining the architecture I told, after completing our input we will mention as dollar symbol. So here the E was, while writing a E I have written E and it is giving me epsilon symbol also. So that is why I have moved to epsilon to E. So after E I didn't have any follow value, so the follow value is forwarded to S. So I have mentioned dollar symbol there. So this is how we have to mention first and follow of a given grammar. So in the next video I would like to say how to draw parsing table for a given grammar in LL1 parsing mechanism. Thank you for watching this video.